Welcome, welcome. Letting everybody in. All right. Okay. I see you all. Oops. Welcome, welcome, Emily, Diana, Laura. Great to have you here. I'll let a few people in. It is January 11th, 1 p.m. Eastern. I don't know where you are joining me from, but we got a 1111 code happening here. So yeah, if you're able, I'd love to see your faces. If you can open your camera, and this is a very interactive session, and we're gonna really get, yeah, just let everybody in here who's coming in. Admit all. Okay, perfecto. So happy New Year, everyone. And just, raise your hand, or, the Zoom feature, raise hand down by reactions. You can use that if you have questions, or it makes it just easier for me to see if you have a question, comment. And this is a very highly interactive session. So I would love to have your input. I want to take you through an experience of just kind of placing yourself. Oh, you don't hear anything? Are you hearing me, Diana? Is everybody hearing me? I hope I'm not muted. Okay, no sound. Okay, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, thanks, Konichi. Okay, all right. So I think, Diana, I think it's on your side that you have something going on with your audio. I think everybody's getting the audio. Okay, so everybody can see me, hear me? Yes, yes, yes. I know we are in Mercury retrograde. So it's with Zoom. If you might need to go out and come back in if you can't hear, because that's an issue. So let me get started. I value your time and your presence, and it is a very powerful year, very, very different energetically from 2022. 2020s are such, we're in such heightened times of shifts that every year the energy is like very much morphing. And it's it's also, this session is really about, it's called, make your vision a certainty. And so what is that about? It is about the degree of your commitment and alignment. And so energetically, if you're able at all, I want to invite you to open your camera, because it is about presence. And that is one of the things with manifestation, is that it's about the presence of your energy, and we're here in a room together, and how we do something is how we do everything. So we're living in the age of information, which, where information is not the thing that we're missing. It's really what is missing in the age of information. What is needed in the age of information is the specific information that is tailored to you, and the know-how of how to apply that specific information. The know-how of how to apply this specific information. So if you're able, please open the camera so you can be fully here and present. And so I can see you, you can see me, and it's going to be a lot more powerful that way, because we cannot manifest our dream with a dabbling attitude, And so this session is about getting so aligned, right, with your vision, that you take it from the realm of possibility, like a maybe possibility, and make it a certainty. And that requires clarity, 2 C's, clarity and commitment, right? So one of the key things is you've got to invest your energy into your vision, right? Wherever you place your attention is where you place your energy. And so let's play full out. So I want to just give you a little overview of what we're going to be doing, and then we'll just get rolling right into it, right? So welcome, everybody, if you just entered. So we got the 1111 January 11th, 1 p.m. code going on, and this is great for manifestation. 1 is about initiation. The new year has started. And 4, the 111 is about 1111 is about grounding that idea, right? That's living in our head and in our hearts, and grounding it into manifest 3-dimensional reality. And so that takes continuous, consistent focus, and energy, aligned energy, right? Not energy that is at odds with each other. I call that split energy, where you're pushing the brakes of fear and doubts on one side and then pressing accelerate with the other foot. A lot of us operate like that. And so this is why visionary yoga is about unifying your energy so that four things have to be aligned in order for us to make our vision a certainty. Number one, your body, your physicality. That's why, disciplines like yoga helps any other discipline, but the body and then the mind, along with the intellect, right? And then the emotions, body, mind, emotions, and then energy. All these four things have to be aligned in the same vibrational frequency with your vision. And then that will make, pretty much a done deal, right? So let's step into that, guys. Not just the level of ideation, not just a maybe, but I want you to really embody owning your vision, owning your dreams, owning your goals viscerally, because this is the beauty of the yoga of personal development, is it's very much physiological, right? You got to dial it in. So okay, here's the overview for today. I want to share with you the 5 guiding principles to get oriented to your priorities, right? Let's get oriented to our priorities. I have some guidelines for really thinking about setting life goals, yearly goals. And then I want us to all uncover our soul's evolutionary cycle. Like, where exactly are you specifically in this year of 2023? Very specific to now, very specific to you. That's going to be very powerful for us to step into 2023 with this awareness. And then we'll actually dive into actually planning the year. And I'm really excited because in the past, I had a very complicated system for planning the year. And I just slashed it all. I just made it like, we're living in complicated times of topsy-turvy, everything, economy, politics, weather, the environment, it's all like topsy-turvy. So I wanted to create like really simple, anybody can do it, 4-step clear-cut process for planning the year and guaranteeing that this year is gonna rock. So that's my outcome, my intended outcome for you all. Okay, so let's get excited. So the 5 principles, 5 guiding principles for really planning the year in an empowered way. Number 1 is very fundamental. Time cannot be managed or negotiated with. I mean, we have this thing called time management, but it's kind of an illusion, isn't it? Right? I mean, time, we cannot manage time. Time is like, it's just going. It's the one thing we cannot, right? We cannot manage, because whether you're feeling good, whether you're feeling accurate or not, whether you're feeling on, whether you're feeling off, time just keeps rolling. No one outlasts time. And so yoga, one of the teachings of yoga with a capital Y, not just the stretchy posing yoga, but it's, the yoga of life says, each of us has an expiration date, and it's about living with the awareness that every day you wake up, I mean, it's a massive gift, right? Because every day, millions of people did not wake up. So most of us go through life like we live forever. And we think we can afford the time to complain or grumble about the small stuff. I lived in India, and it's like, I realized, like, I can't even complain, like coming back to the New York, where I turn on the hot water faucet and hot water comes. It's like, it was like a miracle to me when I came back after 7 years of living in India, and I had to there was so much about the water, So like that, time cannot be managed or negotiated with. And just knowing this, every day you wake up, let's make ourselves, raise our vibration, and it's like, this human life is very brief. And so let's get out of the rut, get out of the self-sabotage, get out of the maybe kind of the vagueness, right? And we got to also learn, as visionaries, as creators of our realities, to start really making decisions, because it's in the moments of making clear decisions that your destiny gets shifted, right? Making decisions from this, again, visceral alignment with and also borrowing and tuning into the body's knowing, the somatic knowing of what is right for you, what is aligned for you. We got to build that sense. And we're really living in exciting times. I think this 2023, we're going through this, the Earth, planet Earth is going through this photon belt where cosmic rays of frequencies that this Earth has never ever received into its atmosphere pouring through because the Earth's magnetic shield is weakening. There's a rain, a shower of higher frequencies that we have never experienced on this planet Earth. And so all of us are getting this kind of upgrading wavelengths, but how open are we to receiving it? How much we utilize what is being made available to us? It's all in the invisible realm. But that's why the yoga, especially the Raja Yoga of meditation, where we dissociate from the physical senses and tune into that felt sense of the higher energy, receiving it, learning to receive it. This is so important because that is what will allow us to live life as creators, really make use of that, the frequencies that are being poured down. And so guiding principle number one, time cannot be managed or negotiated with. And so welcome, Larry. I'm glad you made it, despite the mistake you made in sending out the wrong Pacific time. So number two, the second guiding principle is begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. We're very early in the year, but begin with the end of 2023 in mind. What do you want to experience at the end of this year? And if again, zoom back to the point I made about our life being finite, like what if we began this year, really think about what we want to experience and what we want others to remember of us at the end of our lives. What if we lived like that? There's a beautiful book, and I hope you all have note-taking devices because I'll be kind of giving away, just like book titles and this and that. And these things are good to write down. But so there's a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, written by a woman called Bronnie Ware. And she interviewed thousands of people at the end of their lives and asked them, what do you regret at this stage in your life when you look back? And she kind of compiled the top 5 things people regret at the end of their lives. And one is people say, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. That's powerful. So living with courageous honesty with oneself, dancing to your own tune, owning that, and, being and really not caring what other people think in a sense, and really stepping into that. The second thing people say is, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Well, I think people say that, if they didn't really love their jobs, I think what they're saying is, I wish I had made time for happiness, for things I truly enjoy. And that's one of the other things people say, I wish I had let myself be happier. I wish I had allowed myself these moments of joy. And I really wish I went for that, Another thing people say is that I wish I had the courage to express my honest feelings. And so this might be big for you this year, and as we get into like what this year means for you, for some of you, it's about self-expression, speaking your truth. And so this is very important. And the other thing that some people say is that I wish I had kept in touch with my dear friends. And so relationships, right? These are the things people don't look back and say, I wish I had more net worth at the end of my life, because we have to all leave it behind, the bank accounts, we have to leave this behind when we leave this plane. And so people talk about, what really mattered in life at the end of the life. So it's really good. Begin with the end in mind. And that allows us to have a very deep grounding as we set our goals. So we don't set just superficial goals to satisfy, the world, to say I'm successful. That is satisfying to a certain degree, but we want to really create goals from the deepest level possible. Number 3, so it's related to this, more is not better. This is the right or downer. More is not better. Better is better. So I think we live in a culture of like more letters after the name, more net worth, more properties, more stuff to buy, more, yeah, just more. And so, but if you look at the masters, the people who operate at like stratospheric levels beyond, where the ordinary people operate, when you look at how masters operate, they always go for the very select few, and they have put deep contemplation into what they're going to put their energy behind, and it's like a few masterful brushstrokes, and it's an elegant way to live. Their lives are simple, and so that is something that we can aspire to. So more is not better. Instead of having a 10 goals or 20 goals list, what if we whittled it down to like top 3 or maybe even 1, and really do that fully. And so, yeah, more can be a trap. Absolutely, Larry. And so this is this is another book. Write it down if you have notes. Is a book I highly recommend in this regard, is a book called Essentialism. Essentialism, the disciplined pursuit of doing less. The disciplined pursuit of doing less. Anybody read this book? It was life-changing for me. And it is so, it's about, really tuning in and a deep contemplation of what truly your priorities are, what really matters to you, and saying no to the things that are, kind of diluting your energy, pulling you in different. And there's a beautiful diagram in that book of like 2 circles. And one is a circle like a sun with all the rays pointing in like 10 different directions. And this is the way that, this culture of more makes us do, is like, I want to, lose weight, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. And we're trying to like do all these things at once. And we actually don't get anywhere. But the essentialist, it's like one long line coming out of that circle with an arrow at the end of it. It's like that moves you. So, really like diffuse sun rays, it feels warm, but it won't cut through the laser, right? It won't cut through a diamond. But if you take all these rays and laser focus, this is what we need to do if you want to, really create something that matters in your life. So more is not better, better is better. Number 4, so your life resume matters. So in my life, I have not gone job hunting very much. Most of the time, I did job hunting as a dancer. I auditioned to become part of a professional dance company, and that was hard. And I built my dance resume for that. But what's really important is, your life resume. The professional resumes are like, the positions you've held, the titles you've held, the experience, and all of that is important. But like, what about the character that you've built, the hard decisions you had to make, the hardships you overcame, the risks you took, the adventures you said yes to, the acts of forgiveness and compassion? These things don't get put on a resume, but they are, I believe, what really goes on your life resume. And so building that up is a meaningful way to live. And I want to, give you, like in a little bit later, I want to give you just exactly how to craft your ear like that. So, really creating a resume of things that matter to you. Lastly, I think this is very important also, because I'm talking about experiences. And there's a saying, people always say, you learn from experiences, live and learn. But it's actually not, there's a missing step in that expression. We don't just live and learn, we live, evaluate, reflect, and learn. That step is so missing in our soundbite culture. We live in a soundbite culture, even with personal development, even with spirituality. We say yoga and we think we know what it means. We say, be here now, and it's become like a cliche. It's all like this sound bites, and we don't think deeply. We haven't disciplined ourselves to think deeply about things. We kind of like, we think we know what it means because we heard it so many times, but we haven't really explored the deeper dimension of things. And so when you experience something, it's whatever it is, even after this session, if you sat down and go, okay, I just spent an hour in this session, what did I actually really learn? And what did I do well, right? What did I do well? What, is there room for improvement in the way I did it? And what will I do differently? How will I show up differently? If you ask these 4 questions I do this after every class I teach, and after every class I take, I go, yeah, hey, I invested my energy into this thing. What did I do well? What can I celebrate, right? What can I do even better? Like, what can I get stronger at that I did well? And what can I do better next time, right? And then what will I change? What will I change? What will I tweak? This is how you iterate to better and better and better. And so becoming a reflector, an evaluator of experiences is very important. So I'm a big fan of journaling, and because in journaling, you get to really do that in real time. So any ahas so far? This is an interactive session. If you got one aha from that, give me a hell yeah, or type of 1 in the chat, or so tell me what you resonated with. Yeah, feel free to unmute yourself. I want to hear your voices. Hi, Tom. So nice to see you after so many years. And yeah, good. So everyone all good? All right, so let's move forward then into uncovering what cycle, what stage in your life you are at in your personal evolutionary cycle in this year of 2023. So we live in a quantum universe. This word is going to be used more and more and more as we, go deeper into the 2020s, because everything is vibrational. We know this intellectually, but most of us are still living by the Newtonian laws of physics. We're operating as that, but the call is to really become more and more vibrational and understanding. See, numbers have vibrations attached to them. And that's why I'm going to use the ancient science of numerology to help us really decipher, the meaning, your personal meaning for this year. So it's very simple. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen, I'd love for you to write down in plain numerics, not letters, your birth month and your birthday. So for example, mine is January, it's coming up, 19. So it's like this, right? 1 + 1 + 9. Right. So in numerology, we add the digits. Okay. So what is 1 + 1 + 9? It is, 1 + 9 makes a 10. So we go 1 + 1, and I have a 2, right? A 2. Okay, everybody have that. Round it down to 1 digit. Round it down to 1 digit. Everybody have it? Yes? Okay, awesome. Now let's look at the year 2023. Okay, 2023. So again, we're just going to add these letters all together. So what is 2 + 0 + 2 + 3? Larry knows I'm not a math genius.
7.
It's a 7, right? All right, it's a 7. All right, so we don't need our calculators for this, right? Now 7 + 2 for me, right? 1 + 1 + 9 is 2. So I do a 7 + 2, and I get a 9. This is for me a 9 personal year, right? This is.
What is the second letter? What's the second one? The first one is your date of birth. What's the second one?
The second one is 2 + 2, 2 + 0 + 2 + 3, 2023, which is 7, right? Equals 7.
2023.
Yeah, so 7 is the universal year of 2023. And, this number will affect us this year. 7 is a very inner year. So it's a very spiritual year. And if you look at the way the letter is written, it's like a sideways line and a downward line. I do it this way, right? 7 is like that. So this represents taking the universal principles, the higher principles, the spiritual principles, the cosmic principles, the laws of the universe, and bringing it down to practical application in our day-to-day life. So it's about spiritualizing our life as a whole, taking, and so you will see, we're going to be harnessing so much from the invisible realm. If you think about science and all the breakthroughs we have had, all the way from, the radio and the TV and the light bulbs, it's like we took this, the forces that were present in the invisible atmosphere, and we harnessed it, right? Is the case with the electricity, is the case with radio waves, is the case with television, right? It's not invisible, but we harness those rays and we devise a technology to create seemingly miracle things happen. The cell phone, right? Again, it's invisible to the naked eye. And so in this year, I believe really that we're going to make massive quantum leap. There's going to be a huge breakthrough and a lot of discussion, I believe, about what really constitutes reality. I think this is going to be a hot topic of not just among quantum physicists, but among, like, it's going to become a mainstream, just like, what is reality? What is reality? Already so much has all the events in the world stage that have happened in the past years have come to kind of highlight, like, well, we think that this person won the election, but no, it didn't happen. No, we're contesting reality. So all over the place. And so so I think that's going to be a huge thing. It's science and technology coming together. This is going to be a universal theme in the collective, right? So what else? 7 is a very much a year of gathering research, right? Research, very, very deep research. So yes, you have a question, Coco, please. Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Right. So I'm just confirming that there's no 10 then, it's just going to be 1, correct?
Yes, we don't have double digits. We distill it down to a single digit. Yeah. So let me hear some of your numbers. You can shout it out or you can type it in the chat. I got both open.
1.
You get a 1 year. Wow, awesome. Wow, amazing. That's you have a brand new beginning year. Okay, this is a very powerful new beginning for you. Anybody else? Yeah. So what's your number? 5, 11. Oh, wow. 5, 11. And anybody else type it in or let me know. Yes, Natalia.
So I did 13, but you're saying we should just round it down?
Yes, round it down.
To 4.
Yeah. So 11 and 22. Okay. So if you got 11 or 22 or 33, those are master numbers. So you can keep them as double digits, but everything else, just distill it down to a single digit. Hi, Linda. It's so good to see you here. What a delight.
Hi,
And you're here.
Sorry, I'm a little late, but
No
I just
problem. No problem.
wanted to hear what you had to say about
Yes.
recalibrating for the year.
Yes. So we're working on creating your personal number. So write down your month, birth month and birth year. This is my birth number. Okay. And then add it all up until you get a single digit, right? And then add it to 7. Right? Add it all up. Mine is 2 plus 7 is 9. Okay. So, okay.
So mine is my birth month and year come to 11.
Okay. That's 2. 2 plus 9. Okay, 2 plus 7. So you also have a 9 year. Okay. Thomas, how can you get a 0? How could you get a 0? Wait. Your audio is all breaking up. I can't hear you properly, but you have a 9 year. Okay, cool. Okay. Year and day plus year and day. Okay. Add that up, distill it to one number. Okay, so let me just, for those of you who have the single digit, and if you're still having doubt as to how to do this, then raise your digital hand. So I know you need help. Okay, so let me read for you the, okay, number 1. Okay, number 1. It's a brand new beginning for you. So it is a year to, you really want to make sure you're not carrying your past into the future, making sure that it's a year to start with a clean slate as much as you possibly can. Right? It holds a greater clarity than last year, and it's part of starting a new 9-year cycle. So I would do, Sonia, just like setting not just for like what do you want to create over this, like if you have a massive 9-year block of time, like what's possible for you? Think big, right? Think big on one year, because you're setting the tone for the entire 9-year cycle. And so this is going to be planting seeds of what you want to grow, go for the big picture, right? And so what else about the number 9? I mean, I don't want to take too much time on this, but yeah, it's begin with a clean slate as much as you possibly can. Does anybody have a 2? Raise your hand. Some of you have an 11, right? So 2, if you have an 11, you still are vibrating to the 2, but there's like another dimension. 11 is like the higher octave of 2. So let me just read what 2-year is. 2-year is about, the theme is patience and love, in the sense of be sensitive and considerate to others. It's about, it's a slowing down inner ear. Number 2 is about developing patience, developing like receptivity and considering others. Harmonizing with other people is very, very important. Forging partnership, right, is very, very important. So if this is your 2-year, number 1 year is usually very intense in the sense of like you're doing stuff, you're initiating new things. There's a lot of energy expended. So 2-year can be a little bit of a slower breathing, and focusing on the other, your partner, you're maybe manifesting your partner or deepening that relationship, deepening your primary important relationships in your life. It could be a business partner, it could be an intimate partnership. And really, it's a year where emotions and relationships take a front seat. And the way you want to manifest in a 2-year is not by pushing, it's by embodying and magnetizing, attracting rather than pushing, And so making yourself, magnetizing, attracting, Does anybody have a number 3 here? Okay. And 4. Okay, Natalia, you have a 4-year. 4 is, I have to break it to you, some very hardworking year. It's about long-ranging goals, because 4 is like the box. It's like setting the foundation, the material foundation. And it's about becoming more methodical about, the goals you want to focus on, creating structures, the infrastructures for the building, the rest of the years you got to build during this 9-year cycle. So it can be a year of serious work. So it's in a 4-year, I highly recommend scheduling your vacation time, like scheduling a time out, because it's going to be a hardworking year. Sorry to let you know that, but it's so work hard. Don't be afraid to work hard. Align with your vision, and also it's important to cultivate being mindful with this question of what is the right effort. What is the right effort? What is the most efficient application of energy? Because a lot of times we're used to, again, this Newtonian way is like very pushing. Sometimes that is working against us. So what's the most efficient, elegant use of my time and energy? That's going to be a great inquiry. So anybody have, by the way, 3-year is a bit, 3-year is like, 3 is a very creative year, So 3 is about really self-expression. And oftentimes, if you're in a 3-year, it can be very gregarious, a lot of social things, permission to have fun, but you want to stay focused because 3 can be very scattered. So anybody have a 5-year? I think there was this 5. Okay. Oh, so I see. Konichi was a 5. Okay. So she left the call, but 5 is like, 5 is a very adventurous year. 5 is like, if you look at the number, it's like looking front and back, right? You're looking forward and back, and there's an exploration happening in a 5-year. My 5-year was like traveling, and almost like every other month I was like, big travel, and it's a great time. The more you explore new things, the more like broader your horizon gets, and it's very beneficial to really explore and let yourself, have the varied experiences in a 5-year. A 6-year is like a focus on home and creating balance. It's a much more closer to home kind of energy. Number 6, it's environment, beautifying your home, making sure the home is a place where you can really feel your sanctuary, attending to that. So who else has a number 9-year, 4-year? I think we addressed, okay, 7-year. Who has a 7-year? Okay, So if you have a 7 year, again, 7 year is a very internal year, inner work and inner knowledge. It's kind of like the inner scientist. It's about delving inward. It's about becoming a sage of sorts. And it's important for me. I think I'm still like, the 7 is very resonant because it is in my numerology code very strongly, but it's, you'll need to, you want to make time to be alone and knowing your deeper, like getting in touch with your deeper purpose, higher purpose on a daily basis. That's very, very important. Read mystical books that open your eyes to the subtle realm, that open you to the metaphysics of life, and maybe going on spiritual retreats, doing, really living, doing a lot of journaling to inquire within, doing inner research, that is very, very important in a number 7 year. So I hope you all have your personal numbers then armed with that. Number 9 is a year of completion. And so completing your incompletes, complete your karmic, like go into your karmic closet and just take all the stuff out that, been neglected perhaps, and just complete it. And because you want to start the number 1. Next year is number 1. So you're setting up for a brand new beginning. So let's tie up the things that have been on your goals list that you haven't hit yet. Let's make a concerted effort to make it happen, because in a 9 year, when you get aligned and when you get really committed, things can manifest very fast, because it's been the whole 8 years of things building up to this year. And so things can happen very quickly. There's also a karmic thing about number 9, because things may be leaving your life, relationships may be ending. So you have to be very emotionally strong. So I'm going through something that is like, really, emotionally it's stressful. It's close to home. It's my sister. And it's like just breathing and just, so we have to rise above the turbulence that the number 9 completion. And because some of the hardest things for human beings to do is to let go. And so cultivating inner strength and doing a lot of self-care, deep self-care, is going to be very important in a number 9 year. And so I'm going to be focusing on that. And also like on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, making lists of like, all right, what's incomplete, what needs to get, what needs to be tied up. This is how we, and also it's about not living selfishly, but in a number 1 year, you can be very much like self, it's about initiating, it's about me and resonating that. Number 9 is about expanding to be a humanitarian, be altruistic, think for the greater whole, brotherhood, sisterhood, humanity, environment, and doing some charitable work can be really, really great for really kind of accumulating punya, what we call karmic merit, and so that we can elevate to the next cycle of 1 with a lot of, positive, good karma helping us to soar. So this is your kind of cosmic weather forecast, right? And so what kind of year it is. And so I want you to take a moment to kind of contemplate this as we move forward into actually planning, opening up the calendar and planning the year. Is what 2 questions, right? Write these down. So 1 is, what is the best approach for me to honor my priorities this year? What's the best approach for me to honor my priorities this year? So what I mean is like, what's the best approach? Is it consistent, overcoming of or is it attuning into, becoming more receptive, practicing receiving? Is it, about taking time out, making sure that I care for myself? Is it about overcoming procrastination? What's the best approach for me to honor my priorities this year? It's the how, which matters a lot, actually, right? How you do something matters a lot. And second question is, who do I need to be, right, to navigate this year well, given the cosmic weather forecast I've been given the number 1 year, the number 4 year, the number 11 year? Who do I need to be? Oh, and I forgot to mention 11 11 is a visionary number. And so 11 is about partnership. Oh, somebody's, okay. Can you mute yourself? Okay, so it's about your partnership with that divine self, right? 11 is like 1 and 1, you and your higher self. And so forging this partnership is that higher dimension of 2, right? 2 is about getting along. Every number has a shadow side, right? Every number has a shadow side. Like number 1 can be like too selfish, too arrogant, too inconsiderate of others. So we have to be, careful of the shadow side, and number 4, pushing too hard, exhausting, burning yourself out. Number 3 is like indulging in too much social stuff that you dissipate your energy and you have no energy left for creativity. What else did people have? 11. Number 2 is too much combativeness. That can become like, if you don't harmonize, it becomes like defensive and blaming and, just blaming the others. This is victim mentality. This is also kind of a shadow side of number 2. Number 9 can also have some of that victim mentality. It's like poor me kind of mentality, So then we cannot express the higher octave of that essence of the personal numbers. So let's keep that in mind and let's endeavor to resonate with the higher. And also, if you are inspired to, I do 5 sessions a month, completely complimentary. It's called Up Level Your 2023 Vision session. It's a whole 45 to an hour long session where you show up one-on-one and I hold your vision for you. We clarify, we up level it, we identify the hidden obstacles, and then we clarify what is the one needle moving thing. If you had to choose one thing, what is that thing that you should focus your energy on? So if you want my support in that, I'm going to just put a little link here and you can feel free to book a time, because January I'm doing retreats. I'm doing so I just have a very limited time, and I want to make sure that you get this session, because I have here's this, in case you want to book that session with me while I go through this planning with you, right? So you can open that tab and find a time for you. And also, because you're all here with me live, I want to share with you my workbook, Envision 2023 Year Planning Workbook. I'm going to give that out at the very end of this call. And so stick around here. We're going to go into, let's go into opening the calendar and planning your year. So it's very simple. I wanted to do simple, bold brushstrokes this time around and not take you through a very a complicated thing, something that, I feel like a system is something that anyone should be able to do. You don't have to have gone to Harvard or be a rocket scientist or be super disciplined to do it. It's just something that, and it also should be inspiring and bold, something you can remember like offhand, So I'm calling this the MAD framework, and MAD, it's an MHAD framework. So like when you look at older and wiser people, what do? They are simplifying their lives, right? They're simplifying their lives. They focus on the quality of life. So this framework is about that, to live a meaningful life with simplistic elegance and with a lot of joy and no regrets, no regrets. So the M, the first, so four-part framework here, right? So the first M stands for, come from my own tradition. There's a word called misogi. Misogi. I'm going to just put it in the chat in case. Misogi means, it's actually a Shinto ritual that it's an austerity. It's an epic austerity that spiritual aspirant in these traditions do. They basically strip almost naked just to their loincloths, and they do a series of purifications to prepare themselves, and then they find the most epic waterfall and kind of that has been deemed sacred, and they wake up at dawn and they let the water like dash on them and just sit there in meditation for a long time. And it's like an epic thing that most people would never do, that may scare many people, that, but it kind of defines you. It defines you. And so the idea of misogi is like, commit to one epic thing that defines your year, you know? So it should be able to, because if your years are a blur, like what was I doing in, 2018, 2017, if it's a blur for you, then it's like one thing that stands out. That's like, oh yeah, that's the year that I did. Like for me, it's like 2020, 2003, that's the year I moved to India and moved to India for 7 years. Then it was like 7 years in Tibet, 7 years in India, and that was an epic thing that it's like, gosh, I don't know, I can't believe that I did that, but it's like, it doesn't have to be something, so horrible or punishing. It's just about testing your limits and going beyond what you think you can do. So you're stretching yourself, So the idea of misogi is like you do something that challenges your limits one time a year, that just by committing to it, it defines the rest of the 364 days of your life, right? Put one big thing on your calendar that scares you, that you never thought you could do, and go out and do it. So give that a thought for a moment. Like, what is it? What is it that, excites you, maybe scares you? Tune into that. What would, stretch you, and what would also serve you to step into your next level self? It could be a fitness thing. It could be, for me, it was like writing a book was a misogi kind of thing. Like it was like, at the beginning, I couldn't believe how hard it was, because I wrote a lot of articles in my life, but writing a book was a whole different, the arc was so much bigger. And, it was so much to like make myself right, keep myself going on this journey without getting discouraged or sidetracked. So it may not come to you right away. Contemplate on it. Yeah. What is your misogi? And put that first thing. Don't take too long to decide upon it. Once you have it, put it on your calendar and commit to it in some way. Commit to it. Like last year, I booked an Airbnb for 1 month in Portugal. Like, come hell or fire, I'm gonna do this. So I did it, and that made me actually create, and I booked a 2-bedroom because I wanted it to be a shared experience with some family members. And so I made that happen just because I took the action to make it a non-negotiable, put my foot down, and make that happen. So it's like that commitment, during that month that it's like I didn't put anything else. Like I wanted a lot of time for adventure, So if you're able to do that, that's great. Maybe it's like a bike ride, an epic bike ride, or during that time, no distractions, no weddings. So how everything, your calendar gets filled out the further you go into the year. So right now you have more of an open calendar. Put your misogi, your, epic one thing, your year defining thing first. Okay. Because like, if you did this every single year, like we're all different ages, but let's say in just, today is 11, so in 8 days, January 19th, I'm going to be turning 51. Oh my God. So if I, let's say I have, the average person in the United States lives till, around 80. So I have like 29 years. So if I live like this, I have 29 year defining epic experiences in my life. That's pretty profound, that's profound. So years should not be a blur. No, we should remember, oh yeah, 2020, 2023, that's the year I did, tune into that. Okay. Second framework. So MHAD, the MAD framework. The H stands for horizon expanders. So you have one year defining thing. And then the second is horizon expanders. So this is like every 2 months, simply do things you've never done before, because as adults, we stop having novel experiences. Have you noticed this? Like, how many things did you do last year that you never did in your life? Did anybody have something like that? So I started to make a point of doing that. So for me, it was just November because I started doing this. In November, I did my first scuba diving certified, like, potty scuba diving experience. And that was like horizon expanding, huge horizon expanding, because it was like, wow, this under the water, there's a whole universe in there, and I know the Avatar, thing is coming out with like, underwater, the way of the water and all that, but really actually doing it, wearing that big tank and being able to breathe underwater was so, transformative for me, and I want to do more. So, horizon expanders every 2 months, if you can do every 2 weeks, but every 2 months, one thing you've never done before. It could be, an epic concert, doesn't even have to be epic. I love going to performances, discovering new, art forms, new dance companies, going for, what was the other thing that I'd never done before? Oh, I love discovering, like, Manhattan is changing. I mean, there's like the little island, it was so awesome to see, place I've never seen, like, boop, it just, so every 2 months, I do something you've never done before. Then the third thing I've really learned to do to make my year epic is to add a winning habit. Add a winning habit every quarter. Okay, so if we did this, so far, what do we have? We have one year-defining thing, one epic thing that you remember the year about. Then you have the horizon expanders. So it's peppered throughout your year. If you did this every single year, you have six novel experiences every single year. 6 novel experiences you've never had, before, right? So yeah, amazing. Yeah, Sonia, awesome. So it's like every year you have 6 novel experiences. Wouldn't that be, that's a rich life, right? And hey, who's to say only do one in every 2 months, but at least one every 2 months, right? And then every quarter, make it a point to install a new habit. The new research says, they used to say, it takes 21 days to dial in a habit. And the honest research is now saying the number is more like 66 days. And for a lot of us, it's really like 90 days, to really make a habit a habit. So with habits, again, more is not better, better is better. So stick with one habit until it really becomes a part and fiber of your being. So what is the one habit that you are dialing in this first quarter of 2023? Can you unmute yourself and let me know what that is? Yeah. What are you dialing in? What are you dialing in?
Better sleep.
Better sleep. Yeah, that's amazing. So there's so much about that. So that's like a night ritual, maybe it's better sleep is about night ritual and like sleep hygiene, the environment in which you sleep. Better sleep starts 3 hours before, like Ayurvedically, you gotta, make sure you finish eating your last meal with 3 hours to spare. So you complete your digestion before you go to bed. That's important, right? And then digital hygiene, like putting your phone to bed, putting your computer to rest, maybe 1 hour before, and maybe cuddling up with a physical book instead, something like that. So, who else? Who's got a habit they're dialing in? So I would say
Exercise in the morning.
Exercise in the morning.
Exercise in the morning.
Okay.
That
Awesome.
would be good. If I could get that back.
Yep. For me, it's been dialing in the 5 a.m. habit. And I don't, for me, it's like I really need, these days, I'm feeling like I need at least an hour of meditation. And I'm getting the inner call, like there's so much energy happening that I'm like, actually, I need like 3 hours to meditate, because I feel something's being rewired in my brain that it just needs this deeper. It's just a time of my life. I need to do that. So like, I can't wake up at 8 and meditate an hour. And, so I, and I've been some successes. And again, it's about getting that enough sleep. And, but I find the more I meditate also, the less sleep I need. So there's a recommended book reading for you all. If you're, if you really want to, get focused on dialing in habits, because habits create destiny in a sense. Get this book called The Atomic Habits. Maybe you've already read it, but it's a great book to read this year. It's an easy read, very practical, very like every chapter ends with like action steps. And you will learn about habit stacking, how to take existing habits and put, new habits, layer new habits on top of it. So it's dialed in, to the your already existing habit. So what else? Who else has a habit? It could be, also like for me, in running my own business, I've had to learn business habits. Like spiritual habits come easily to me, like doing yoga. I mean, it's like I've been doing it so long, but for the business habits, I've been so disciplined in, and I have resistance towards them. So dialing that in has been really, really important for me. Just making, following up, calling, all these things, just doing it consistently has been, it's not something that comes very naturally for me. So that has been important. But any other habits, right? It could be, yeah.
I have 2 little kids. So
Yeah.
for me, whenever I'm not with them, I'm just doing busy work around the house. So
Yeah.
spending an hour practicing the piano every day, something intentional
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than just cleaning up or
Yeah.
other mindless activities.
Making time for, for the flow of music. So important. Absolutely. And for me, I find that just like putting the misogi, the ear defining thing, first thing in the calendar, like nothing else is blocking that. I get to choose when I want to do that, and also other people that I want to do it with. If it's like a co-creative epic event, then other people have more open calendars. So there's an advantage to that. But also like early in the day, starting with that joyful thing, if it's not possible, then it's a little harder to extricate yourself from that. But so I've been doing, first thing in the morning, I take my hot water or tea and sit on my meditation cushion, and that's been like the signal to me, the trigger that, okay, I'm doing the most important thing first. I'm going to meditate. So I highly recommend, do the thing that gives you the joy first, dessert first. That's my philosophy in life. Eat your dessert first. Right? So, all right. So we've done, misogi, right? That's the epic ear defining thing. We've done the add, horizon expanders into, every other month, right? And it's good to kind of like do your research now. Like, what are six things you have never done before in your life, and that you would love to experience in your life? I also did surfing last year, which was like, very challenging but really enjoyable. Learning how to surf. So I did 2 new things that, I remember these things because, and it's important because, I've been doing like the yoga, the teaching, that comes so easily for me. And when you become like so at a certain level of skill in one thing, it becomes for me important to experience what beginner felt like. And so I really like to have beginner experiences. It allows me to hold, remember what the beginner's mind felt like. It's a fresh, open mind. It's an inquisitive, curious mind. It's a creative mind where a lot of possibilities are, so much possibilities in a beginner's mind, right? In an expert's mind, there are very few. So it's really helpful to open up your brain in that way too. Research some, like think about six things you've never done before and put them on your calendar. Research where some experiences that you could do. So number 4 was dialing in, adding one, winning habit, right? And number 4, I call this the daily vitamins. So who takes a multivitamin every day, right? So this is the vitamins are those things like Emily talked about, like those things that you want to do on a daily basis that makes you smile, that puts you in the flow, that makes you go, yeah, I love my life, so take like 3 of those a day at least, take 3 daily vitamins. So make a list of all the things that are life affirming, walks in the park, cuddling with your kids, if you have kids, hugging, kissing your loved one, I have like daily vitamins and I have weekly vitamins, So I have my daily vitamins of yoga, meditation, journaling, I have my weekly vitamin I take myself on a solo artist date. I got this from the book Artist's Way. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's like, because the city is so, there's a resurgence, like, new neighborhood, like old neighborhoods that are reinventing themselves, and new stores, new cafes, new places. So I love to explore those. And so I take myself and I just kind of go, what's a neighborhood I never go to, and I go there. So I've been going to Alphabet City, discovering, East Village in a new way. I took the ferry to, Williamsburg. I mean, it's kind of a trek for me, but I love it because it's like, I don't have to get on a plane. I just hop on a subway and I'm in a whole different planet, And so a little research, and I love discovering, new cafes, new experiences, new kinds of people. Weekly vitamins, I go take myself on a solo date, and I go make sure I do a proper date with my gym partner, and so we have, some us times together. That's important for me. I do a spa kind of experience, like a sauna and steam, self-care time. So write down your daily vitamins. So if you do this, just by doing these 4 simple things, your year is going to be, it's not just this initial excitement of, it's a new year, but it's consistently, you're creating new experiences for yourself, new, widening the horizon, and really, so I would really encourage you to open your, write it down now and make it a certainty that you will do it. Put it on your calendar. Like, I live by my Google Calendar, and whatever goes on my Google Calendar happens. It just happens. So it's powerful. That one action of putting it on the calendar, research, what are the, concerts happening in the city? What are the, what are the, who's coming to town, or, so maybe research. And if you feel so inspired, make a date with yourself to actually buy the ticket, or buy the ticket now, pre-commit, so that it's like, I'm doing this. It's really something that allows you to look forward to it. And hey, you'll get the best seats. You get the best ticket, best flight tickets. I mean, there's so many advantages to that. So anyway, I hope this was, give me a 1 if this was helpful and useful. And, I would love to know what you're taking from this call today to make your 2023 epic. You can unmute yourself and share with me your takeaways. All right. And what are you going to do? Yes. Okay. When and where are my retreats? Okay. Thanks, Emily. I love the question. I am actually going right now, on my birthday. I'm going to be going to Mexico. I'm going to go on the 17th. And I'm holding a retreat for 27 police officers. It's like yoga personal development for the police. I get sometimes hired to do that, which is a dream job. I mean, they fly me, they pay me, it's awesome. That kind of retreat is there. But the retreat for my people, my tribe, is happening in June this year. It is an epic event called it's your Odyssey, it's your Greek Odyssey event. That's going to be June 5th through the 11th. And we're going to be going to a beautiful island called Amorgos. You land in Athens and take a ferry, or you land in Santorini and take a ferry. And it's a 6-night, 7-day experience. Every room, epic ocean view, because I want everybody to experience this feeling of they're living their vision. And we'll work deeper in all that manifesting work of, getting your vision clear, reverse engineering it. All that work we'll be doing to really further make your vision a certainty. I have a few spots left, so if you're interested, please reach out to me. Also, let me see if we can find it's just greek-retreat.com. If you go to greece-retreat.com, not Greek, you can find there are some rooms have become sold out, but I still have a few rooms available. And also, again, if you want my support to really just be your partner in believing, because sometimes we need to build the muscle of believing. If you have a big vision, like a 9-year vision for your life, then I would love to be your partner in believing. It'd be my honor. So again, let me just put it in the chat for you. I got 5 spots for the January, and I'd love to be your partner in believing and just guide you through identifying your, number one obstacle that's standing in the way, clearing away which you will make exponential leap towards your vision. And also the one thing you need, the crystal clarity to move forward. Let's build momentum this year, guys, because vibration, it's all about building momentum. Start with, like, how you start running and you start like just kind of like slowly working yourself up to that full speed. So there is something about baby steps that gets the momentum going. So I want to, before I hop off the call, I want to just all of you for just kind of like make a commitment, unmute yourself, open your camera, show yourself to the world, and put your energy here, invest your energy in your vision, and let me know what you are committing to. It could be a habit, it could be a misogi, it could be a horizon expander. What are you committing to, as we come to a close with this call, with this January 11th. This is, again, 11 portal, guys, new beginnings. So let's hear your declaration of your commitment, and I'll hold you accountable. Yes, Linda.
Sorry about the wet hair. I had taken a shower before I
You
got
look
on the
great.
call. So part of my commitment for the year is to start my mornings earlier. But I have East Coast clients. So often what happens is I have to do my 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock calls. And then from 8 to 9, I can do my meditation, my journaling, and then I shower. And today just was completely off. So, but my commitment for this year, I have 2. So it was interesting what you said about the 9 and the 11.
Yeah.
Because my 5, 9, 10, 11, my 11 was my number.
Yes.
When I added my month and my year was 11, but then you said to look at it as a 9.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so there was a lot of things that resonated in that description that you gave. So I really appreciate that. And I will take you up on your call. I would love to do the
Love
call
to talk
with
to you, Linda.
Yeah,
Yes.
would love
Awesome.
to. Yeah. So 2 things. One is more self-care, because
Yes.
I give and give and give. I'm such a giver, and like
I know.
for our event clients, I just give and give and give and give and give. And so, which is great. And I will continue to do that. But I'm really learning to focus more on me, where I need the self-care, because and when I say self-care, it's exercise, diet, meditation, sleep, everything for me.
Yeah.
And because especially coming through COVID and pandemic and all of that, and reconfiguring how we work with our clients,
Yes.
I spent a lot of time on them and on others. So balance is my word for the year, but I like that you said that 9 was a completion, so that we could have a first year next time. So I'm gonna kind of still have balance as my word, but I'm also going to add complete, because there are several things that I need to complete. So I'm going to complete my course.
Yes.
And I'm going to complete my overall self-care. Make sure I get that habit going really strong.
Beautiful. Thank you for, declaring that. And 9 year, it's going to take some strength, and balance is very important. Stability to override, the things that will leaving our lives, so that, make space for the new. So the work to be done in the 9 year.
and that self-talk that you talked about is, I think for those of us that were born, close to the 60s or in the early 60s, like the end of the baby boomer parents. There's something that I talk to a lot of women, especially, where that self-doubt sneaks in constantly with us. And just when you least you think you've got it handled, and you're on an affirmation track and you're doing good, then all of a sudden something happens and it's like, oh no, I'm still here.
Yeah. And so definitely, if any of you have self-doubt about, being able to realize your vision, then just book a call with me, because there is a way to handle doubt, because none of us are immune to doubt, right? But if there's a way, I believe doubt is a sacred part of us. fear is a sacred part of us. And there's a way to handle fear. There's a way to handle doubt that is empowering, that can be the wind on the sail instead of the brick wall in front of you that you're banging up against that holds you back. And so learning how to talk to doubt, how to handle doubt, so it becomes your asset is so important. It's so important. Then you will actually learn to embrace your whole self, you know, to the doubt, the fear, all of it. It's your humanity, right? So you can embrace that. And so I would love to help you kind of transform that relationship to your doubt and fear into something empowering, into fuel for your
Sounds
future.
awesome.
So, all right, who else has a declaration to make? Commitment. Yes, Natalia, Emily, Betty, come on, let's unmute yourself and let me know.
Sleep is so big for me, so I want to commit to going to bed earlier and really getting great sleep. And I feel like that was going to change my whole year. And then the Misogi, I really like to take a big travel adventure with my family.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet where, but I know I want to do something special.
Right. So maybe have a powwow with schedule a time to have a family powwow. Like, you know, what do you, love, saying yes to right now? I did that with my parents. It was I did an epic, like 6-week trip through a road trip through Mexico, and my dad drove, and we like took a hot air balloon over the pyramids of Mexico. It was like something I will never forget, right? Something I will never forget. That's the kind of misogi thing you want to do, is like, something that it's just burned into the retina forever.
I'm with Natalia and your idea of going to Portugal for a month. I think that would be fantastic. So again, just getting away with the kids.
Yeah. And the earlier you book it, because especially some parts of Portugal are so popular, they get booked out. And so it's great. That's the advantage of like, start now, start researching your summer now, and then come to the Greece also if you're going to Europe.
Yeah. Let's hop on over. Well, I have to get the kids, but thank you so much. It's been really wonderful.
Thank you, Emily. Yes. So have a beautiful year, Emily. And if you want to book a session, I'd love to talk to you as well. Anybody else? Declarations? Yes. Betty. Hi. I think you're silent. You're muted somehow on your end. Oh, I can't hear you. I think we can't hear you. I don't know what's happening. You can type it in the chat if you can't get the audio to work, but let's see if we can. Yeah, because I couldn't hear you. Sonia, Thomas, Konichi, and Laura. If you got a declaration, do it now. What are you committing to?
So I know that there's one big project I have to do this year, which is I'm planting some edible crops, an acre of edible crops. That's fruit and nut trees.
Wow.
That I have to do. But what I want to do that I think would be really fun, I don't think planting fruit trees is going to be that much fun. It's just a project that I've decided to take on. But for fun, I would like to travel someplace that I haven't been. But and maybe if this could be an opportunity, an exploration that I haven't, an exploration, and maybe make a movie about my experiences.
Wow.
So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And
in
it's
a place, like a place.
Yeah, it's so,
so it's a great, like, I think it's very nice to do this in meditation, like open your heart and just really ask, where on the globe, there are certain places on this planet that you just feel like kind of mystically attracted to. For me, India was that for such a long time. And now it's like more like Latin America, Spain. I mean, it's like Europe right now, but Mexico is still there, but it's a different phase of my life. So it's very interesting how different times of your life, different places on the planet kind of like calls you to explore. And so kind of tune into that, don't just decide with your logical mind, but there is a kind of a soul level of a place on this geography on planet Earth that holds some soul energy for you, some soul energy for you. So tune into that. Maybe journal. You can do the conversation with God. Sometimes that really helps. Like put yourself into a meditative state and write, how that book goes, like me, ... Hey, God, I have a question for you, God, ... Like you can have a back and forth, but just stay connected with that inner mystical realm. And this is a good way to get a lot of answers to so many things. When I was going through the dark night of my soul, the year I stopped dancing, I was so lost. I don't know what the hell I wanted to do with my life. I was so depressed. And and this is when I found yoga. But I did this, like, I filled pages and pages and pages with like back and forth, just asking myself these questions. And that led me to, meet an enlightened being that opened the whole deeper dimension of yoga for me. That is now my life's work. And so journaling can be a beautiful way to converse with and really make concrete and clearer that which is the message that is, inside your heart, your inner guru. Have a conversation with your inner guru, So I know you have that dimension, Sonia. So that's good.
I do. I've been journaling. I have lots and lots. Oh, I have so many journals.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's going to be that Misogi one, the one where I'm afraid to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, what I'm afraid to do.
Does anybody have a clear sense of what their misogi is yet? For me, I do one international retreat. And for me, in some sense, that is my misogi. So I'm doing a Greece expedition this year, and that's going to be awesome. But I also like to do a personal one too. And I'm tuning into it. Like, what is that? It could be something with diving. I think it's going to be something about, more like diving and discovering, the underwater world or something like that. But it's exciting. It gives you something to look forward to all year long, and something to look back on also. And then it gives you so much like analogies to living life, so many gifts that you didn't expect, so highly recommend it. So I think my commitment is really to deepen, just commit to meditating twice a day. This has been like morning I can do, and then evening, like that one is so hard. It's really, that second one is so hard, that dialing in that habit of the second meditation a day to pull myself away from the computer and everything else and just make myself, enter that mystical realm again. I know it's like life-changing for me. It's going to change the way my brain is, the structure of my brain. I feel like, it's that much vital, and yet it's been such a struggle. So that's my commitment this year, is to, in the later part of the day, still to be able to touch that mystical dimension, so that the rest of my day and night has a new quality of freshness to it, So that's my daily habit commitment. I'm making a declaration to you all, so you have to hold me accountable. So, and I see Betty, okay, my number one is 11, which could be also 2. So I'm committing to living in the present and being patient with myself. Awesome. Great. So thank you, everyone. So I want to close this with a swaha. This is what we do in our visionary yoga tribe. So just bring your hands together like this. Your hands are manifestors, right? We just rub your hands together. This awakens the thousands of nerve endings and awakens your nervous system. So just get a little friction. And then we tap the hands 3 times, and then we say swaha. We're going to do it 3 times. We go 1, 2, 3. And swaha. Swaha means I offer my intent to the highest. It also means, I make space for my vision, right? So swaha for yourself. Celebrate who you've become just in this hour we spent together. One more time, swaha for each other, for holding accountable, holding each other's vision, for just becoming more and more the visionary that we're meant to be. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Swaha. Thank you, everyone, for being you. I truly appreciate you showing up. Thank you so much. And 1 for the universe. This is manifestation. This is saying, positive expectancy. I expect the best. I expect my vision to become a certainty. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Swaha. Thank you, thank you, thank you, universe, for the massive waves of abundance, amazing relationships, clarity in my vision, and making a difference in the world, and stepping into the world as my next level self to create a next level life. So be it, so be it, so be it, with the greatest ease for the highest good of all concerned. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Om Shanti, Namaste, Swaha. Shalom. Also, thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Lots of love. I hope to see you in the Vision Accelerator session. Grab it. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm going to send you all the gift. Okay, I'll send it by email so that some of you hopped off. So I'll send it by email. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Great. Let's make this year awesome. Bye bye. Take care.
You.